Everyone knows butter chicken and tikka masala. Oh, it's so nice. Really? You're gonna skip out on one of the greatest of all time? Let's learn together. Today we're making a traditional tandoori chicken. I know I say, oh, traditional. Most of the time we hit the mark. Every once in a while it's like, maybe not so much, but we try. This one, we're going all out. I bought an actual tandoor and it was extremely expensive, but I'm doing it to do justice. You think I have the uncle title for no reason? You're god right, I'm gonna flex it. We've got every element we need to make the greatest tandoori chicken of all time, as well as an alternative if you don't have a tandoor. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
All right, pal. We're not just slapping this chicken and goodies on a grill like all the basic tandoori recipes out there. I bought an actual tandoor. Am I pronouncing this right, by the way? Please let me know. I did this for you, but don't worry, I'll give you alternatives on how to make this without a tandoor. Let's begin with our prized possession. Buttery garlic naan. Yes. Starting with half a cup or 112 grams of water around 95 degrees Fahrenheit, add 2 tablespoons or 25 grams of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of instant yeast, whisk all that together until dissolved, then add half a cup or 112 grams of full-fat yogurt, finally whisk in 3 tablespoons or 45 grams of vegetable oil, and 1.5 teaspoons or 11 grams of fine sea salt. In a large bowl, add 2.5 cups or 380 grams of bread flour, add in your yeasty, yogurty, creamy juices, nice, to your bread flour and mix by hand until you get a rough dough. Different flour brands are going to react differently, okay? So it might be a little dry, might be a little flaky, and if it's feeling a little Sahara-like, then you may need to add additional water about a tablespoon at a time until you get a nice cohesive dough. Knead that for about 3 minutes by hand or until your dough is beautifully smooth and extensible. Roll into a light bowl, grease a medium-sized bowl, plop that brother in there, cover with plastic wrap and rise at room temp for 1 hour or in the fridge overnight. You want it puffy, festively plump, and nearly doubled. Now, since your dough is extraordinarily knotty, punch it down. Teach it a lesson. Once it's degassed, pop it onto a lightly floured work surface and divide your dough into 8 even pieces. For those that are extra, like me, and you want it to be exact, then you want it to be 87 grams per piece of dough, give or take a few grams. Shout out to the metric system. I really appreciate the rest of the world that uses it. Roll each piece of dough into a light ball and rest for 5 minutes. Now, flour a work surface and a piece of dough, roll that out into 8-inch circles using a floured rolling pin. Should look something like this. If the dough is resisting your rolling, please just let it rest another 10 minutes before you keep going, okay? The dough's saying no, just give it a break. Anyway, once you've rolled out all of your pieces of dough, place on a plate and use pieces of wax paper to separate each piece. Now, a very quick, luscious garlic butter. Well, clarified butter to be specific. In a small saucepan, melt a 1/4 cup or 60 grams of ghee until hot but not searingly hot. We're not frying over here. 200 degrees Fahrenheit if you're a stickler there as well. Josh, what is ghee? I don't know what that is. Okay, ghee is clarified butter. You can buy it at the store or you can make it, and we've done it before. You're welcome to use regular butter if you don't have it or you can't find it. Josh, what's the problem with using regular butter? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because butter contains a little bit of milk solids and water, then it may have the tendency to add a slight bit of sogginess to your naan. Is it permissible? Of course, but it's not perfect, and Joshi loves perfect. Cut off the heat and add 3 cloves of very finely chopped garlic. Let that cool slightly and then add 1 tablespoon or 3 grams of very finely chopped cilantro. Now for the moment of truth. How do you cook in a tandoor? Well, we're gonna learn together, all right? Because this is actually my first time ever using one, so here we go. Reminder, the alternative to this is coming, but why not enjoy this moment, okay? This tandoor wasn't cheap, so please enjoy. First, you need a nice hot wood coal base inside your tandoor. The goal is to get the part closest to the coals around 600 degrees Fahrenheit and taper to around 400 degrees Fahrenheit towards the top. Then you need a naan pillow, also called a gadi. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm trying, okay? I'm trying for you. Stretch your naan over your naan pillow. I don't want to go to sleep on it. Then quickly plant your naan directly on the surface of the inside of your tandoor. Really make sure to press against the wall so it adheres and sticks nicely. And watch this. Good Lord. Beautiful mountainous terrain erupts from the naan, getting it closer to the coal base, thus browning the face of your naan as it gently falls into my hand while I nearly burn the ever-loving out of myself. It's very hot in there. In just a few brief seconds, it's done. Immediately brush that bad boy with your clarified garlic butter while it's still piping hot so it absorbs every last ounce of flavor. And now on for the non-tandoor homies. You're gonna recreate the tandoor by heating a medium to large cast iron skillet over medium-high heat until hotter than a metal park bench sitting in the open sun. Get a rolled piece of naan, slap it in there. Once it's puffed nicely, about 30 to 40 seconds, simply flip and cook on the other side for another 30 seconds. Immediately brush with your garlic butter, pull it out, and that's it. Keep those bad boys warmed on a plate in the oven oven or covered with foil. Listen, this next part is extremely important. And no, it's not the chicken, it's the rice. Not only is Uncle Roger watching, the people are watching. Rice is one of the greatest things to grace this earth. So please, begin with 1 cup or 200 grams of aged basmati rice, which you irrefutably must wash. Do not negotiate with yourself. Once washed, heat 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of ghee in a medium-sized pan over medium heat. Once hot, add in your rice and a pinch of salt to taste. Toast, stirring often for about 5 minutes or until you start to see some light golden hues intensify from the rice. Pour that into a rice cooker along with 1 cup or 225 grams of water. Of course, at this point, you can add cumin seeds if you like. Close the lid, turn on the rice cooker, and let it do its lil thang. If you got a Zojirushi, it's gonna play that good old-fashioned twinkle twinkle, and you'll be given the gift of lovely, fragrant rice. Now, we must run through 2 very important sauces before we get to our precious chicken tandoori. And thankfully, both can be done in 10 minutes. First, our raita. In a medium-sized bowl, add 1 cup or 140 grams of full-fat yogurt, the zest of 1 lemon, 2 tablespoons or 5 grams of finely chopped fresh cilantro, half a seedless cucumber finely diced, a generous pinch of ground coriander, a generous pinch of ground cumin, the juice of 1 lemon, and salt to taste. Whisk together, and that's it. It's tangy, salty, and more refreshing than the finest hydration supplement on the market. Moving on to green chutney. Again, stupid easy. In a blender, add 1 bunch or 80 grams of fresh cilantro, 1 cup or 15 grams of mint leaves, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons or 25 grams of roasted peanuts, 2 serrano chilies rough chopped, a 1/4-inch knob of ginger peeled, 1 teaspoon or 1 gram of ground fennel powder, the juice of half a lime. Top your lid and begin blending on medium speed, adding water as needed to loosen, and just as soon as it starts to vortex, blend on high speed until as smooth as possible. Season to taste with salt, mix it in, and place to the side. For your tandoori chicken, yes, it's time. Ideally, you want to start this the day before, but you can do it the day of if that's all you got. In a large bowl, add 1.5 cups or 336 grams of full-fat yogurt, a 1-inch knob or 23 grams of grated ginger, 5 cloves of garlic grated, a generous pinch of fresh ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon or 15 grams of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of coriander powder. Pause. Let me just explain. There's a lot of spices in here. That's okay. Chill out. And don't forget to subscribe. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Anyway, 1.5 teaspoons or 13 grams of garam masala powder, 1.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of cumin powder, 2 tablespoons or 34 grams of Kashmiri chili powder, 2 tablespoons or 40 grams of kosher salt. Optionally, which you see this quite a lot in traditional recipes, about a half teaspoon of red food coloring. Whisk that bad boy in, and then finally whisk in 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of paprika, half a cup or 120 milliliters of vegetable oil, and whisk that brother until homogeneous. Now let's talk chicken leg quarter, the iconic piece of chicken for tandoori chicken. Judge, what's a chicken leg quarter? Well, that's what happens when you remove the chicken leg and the goddamn drumsticks attached to the thigh. It's iconic, it looks great, and you can always cut it apart after cooking. Now, the next part is a little unusual for us because I love the skin, but you're gonna need to wriggle your little fingy under the chicken skin and carefully peel it off all the way. Should come off quite easily, actually. Repeat with 4 total chicken leg quarters. Plop those into your marinade, coat those thoroughly, every little crevice, and ideally marinate covered overnight in the fridge, or you can cook them right away, it's fine. They just won't be as well flavored. Now for the tandoor method, you're gonna need one of these big tandoor skewers. Skewer your chicken running down the thigh bone and then out the drumstick. Repeat with all your chicken pieces. You may only be able to fit 3 depending on the depth of your tandoor, which means you'll have to do a separate one, it's fine. Then create a stopper by wrapping a long thread of cooking twine at the base of your last chicken leg quarter. Be sure to tie off your twine, by the way, so it's knotted. Then pop that bad boy into your tandoor and let it roast for about 15 to 20 minutes, moving it around to avoid burning until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit and it's nicely charred in randomized spots. The other alternative would be to, well, cook this on a ripping hot grill or a grill pan. Heat up whichever of the two over medium high until it's so goddamn hot you want to pull your hand back just looking at it. Now grease those grates or grill pan generously with oil, add your chicken and sear for 2 to 3 minutes or until nicely colored and charred. Flip and sear for 2 to 3 more minutes. Now if it's on a grill, close the lid to your grill, lower the heat, or you can toss your grill pan in an oven set to 375 Fahrenheit and cook for 8 to 10 minutes or until an internal temperature of 165 Fahrenheit is achieved. All that's left to do is get sauces and ramekins, plate up your rice, gaze upon the glistening naan, pop on a plate, get everything looking beautiful. Add your chicken leg quarters shingled on a plate. Feel free to add some thinly sliced white onion and lemon wedges. Maybe a little fresh bundle of cilantro, why not? Pop's nice. And now we taste test.
We've unveiled the mystery of tandoori chicken, and here it is. Wow. You're not gonna get a tandoori flavored chicken without a tandoor, right? I burned myself here. Was it worth it? Yeah. Jesus. If you could smell this right now, you need to wear 2 layers of underwear. I know this is about the tandoori chicken, but this naan is like the main course. It's like buttery, flaky, it melts in your mouth. The chew is like, I can't even think of a term that solidifies how good it is. Obviously the rice is buttery, it's toasty, you get the fragrance from the basmati. Normally what I do is I put a little lemon on this, take a little piece of the chicken off there. You can put it with the naan or you can eat it straight up. There's a certain char that you will not get anywhere else. It's juicy, it's tender. We all like a nice chicken leg, and this is obviously one of the best ways to have it. Period. The one thing that we can walk away learning is that if you take the time to do things the right way, then you might just end up with something really dope. But you wanna know what else is dope? B-roll.